Hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast, Made It Number 40. I hope you're all well. If you have been here before, thank you for returning, and if you haven't, thank you for coming to visit me, however you found me. I don't know where to go. My name's Heather, and I live in Northern Ireland, as you can probably tell by the accent. I live just outside Auchnagley. If any Tyrone people are here, they'll know where that is. And I've lived here for about 5 years now, ever since I got married, moved up here. But I'm married, I have a husband, and I have a daughter. She's 15, her name's Amy, so if you ever hear me mention that name, you'll know who I'm talking about. My husband is called Simon. And like I said, we live in the country. We have just moved into our newly built house, and we moved in last October, and still bits and pieces to do. So I did try to plan to make this podcast every fortnight, but with doing things around the house, it just hasn't really worked out. So I am going to try and do it every fortnight, but at the minute it's just sort of when I get time, and the weather's so nice outside. It's nice to be outside, so not stuck inside. So that's a wee bit about me. I just thought I'd recap for anybody that maybe is new and hasn't watched the first one or two. So that's really it. Yeah, I'm gonna look down at my notes because I have just took a mind blank already, and so so like I said, if you have watched before, thanks for coming back. I'm still unsure whether to keep doing the podcasts. I really do enjoy them, but and I've got loads of lovely comments. Thank you for anybody that has commented, and anybody that has told me to keep going is really encouraging. And see that little green light in my eye? Oh, my glasses there. It's really bugging me. So if you see me jumping about, maybe if I move this way. Nope. Oh well. It has really encouraged me to keep going, keep at it. So I'm going to try keep going at it. So thank you. I haven't just full of stutters this evening already. I've just took a complete mind blank. But anyway, so I'll just move straight on to, is it finished yet? Hold on a wee second. I'm going to pause you and be back. Sorry, I do have a finished subject, but it was all the way up there on the top shelf, and I'm sure you don't want to see my bum when I was going to get it. I forgot to lift it down before I started. So, is it finished yet? Well, I have been really busy trying to get a few things done for Clocker Show. If you were listening to my last podcast, I have my entries all away and in, and there's one particular project that I really want to get finished, to get out of the road, but also to get finished in time to enter into the show. And the show is in it's like the 26th of July, I think. So there's not that long left, and I am off at the minute, work for a wee while, just using my annual leave up, but I'm not getting much work done on it because I'm outside doing other bits. So I have been trying to work on it. So my other projects haven't got as much of a look in, but when you're in the middle of doing something big, I don't know about you, but I like to have something small on the go, because you get the satisfaction of getting it finished, and then you can go back to your bigger project, just take like a wee break in between. So the last time I was talking to you, I was making a chuck by Frogginette on Instagram, and I've had the pattern for ages, and I just never got around to doing it. So, and I had the yarn for it as well. It was worsted weight, I think. I'm nearly certain it was worsted weight, but anyway, if you look it up, you'll find out. So I do have it finished, so I'll show you that first, show you the good finished one first, and then show you how little progress I've done and everything else. So this is Chuck. I'll just zoom in so you can see that lovely border. I think that is just, it's I really love that. It's such a simple knit from the top down, and then you get to here, it's so effective. It doesn't need to be complicated to be effective. I just think it's lovely. Now, I done this in Rowan Super Worsted, I think, and I seen the colourway that I liked, and I bought a couple of balls before it was discontinued, so I don't think this is available anymore unless there's like a few independent stockists out there of Rowan. Maybe they would have this colour left, but it's not true. It's not true on the camera. It's more. It's like more. It's nearly. It's more. Like it looks to me. It looks really yellow on there, but it's not. It's more green. So but it is lovely. So this one now. This was I think I got 2 balls and I thought I'll just knit the biggest size to use the 2 up, which when I went by the yardage should have been 18 months, but when I knitted it, like I have like well over half a ball left, and my sizing, like it didn't, when I read the pattern for what the sizing should be for an 18 month, this is not it, so it's probably more like a year till a year and a half, but that's my fault. I didn't swatch, so didn't check my gauge, so who has time for that? Nobody. So I didn't, but it's not for anybody. I mean, if somebody has a baby or what have you, I need to give a gift, I'll use that, but I'll sort of guess that it's a year to a year and a half and not 18 months. But I love it. I would love an adult one of these, and I think the pattern does go up to adult, but even if it didn't, you could I think this is repeats of 10, so you could work it out yourself. So you could, I think it's really good. I love it. So that's my finished object. So that's called Chuck by Froganat. If you want to check her out on Instagram. And I meant to say at the start, I do have an Instagram myself. It's made at No40. So if there's anything that I do mention here, like when you want to know patterns and stuff, there most likely be a photo on Instagram of these things already and a link to the designer or whatever yarn it is you need. But you can send me a message if you do want anything else. I do have a Facebook page as well. It's made at No40, but it's just exactly the same thing as my Instagram. The 2 are linked, so when I post on Instagram, it automatically goes to Facebook as well. So I don't really look on there that often. I just use Instagram. And yeah, so I'll move on. So my next wee thing is my Harmony socks. These have been on the needles for a right wee while, and in fact I think I started them before we moved into this house. So we moved in October, so they have been on the needles from October, and they were nearly near the heel when I had found them abandoned. So I got working on them, and I am now going up the leg. So it's really hard to show you these because, as you can see, it's a tangled mess, but I'll show you one. You only need to see one anyway because the 2 are exactly the same. So I think it was just about here, or maybe I had started the increases for the heel the last time I showed you them, but I have got the heel turned and I'm going up the leg now. So let's see if I can like flatten this out a wee bit more so you can see the pattern better. And I love this yarn. I can't remember where it's from, and to be honest, if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it. Again, if you look on Instagram, maybe if you go back a few photos, I might have tagged the person. But isn't it lovely? So I've turned the heel. It's nearly a sock, and the other one's exactly the same because I do 2 at a time. So no second sock syndrome here. Definitely not. 2, like a pair to me, it's hard enough to knit at any one time. Never mind doing one and then going to cast the other on. It would never happen in this house. I know fine rightly. I would do one and then I would be like, oh, I want to try a new yarn, I'll see what way it works up, and I'd end up doing that. So I do 2 at a time. So it does, like, I mean, it takes me long enough as it is, but at least when they're done, and that is it. Although I have to say I do love a wee sock project on the go every now and then. Oh darn, I forgot to bring you my other socks. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll get them the next time. So yep, so those are my Harmony socks. That's where I am at with those. Let me put them back in their little bag. Set that out of the way. Now, so the next thing is this is the entry that I'm talking about for Clogher show that I want to get finished, and it's the oh, here we go with pronunciation again. It's the Hygge, I think it's Hygge. The shawl, that shawl, the one, you know the one I'm talking about. So the last time I had showed it to you, was, I think I had, wait, let's see, I had got to that separator down there. I got to here, I think anyway. So I pulled it out and got going on it, just working flat out on it. Some nights I get on really good, some nights I don't, it just depends. So Big Brother is helping though. I love watching Big Brother and bots as well. I love watching bots, and it gives me a good reason to stay up a wee bit later till watch it, to work on this. So anyway, so this is the next bit. This is the next flower I have done. Such a pretty flower. And then there was supposed to be a separator here the same as this, but I like to do things a wee bit differently and change it up just to make something my own. And it's not because I don't like the design or nothing, it's just I know there's going to be like literally thousands of these around the world in the exact same colourway, and I like to have something a bit different. And I know I made it and it's mine, and it is different because it's mine, but I like to be different. So with these separators, they were all red in the pattern, so I sort of changed the colours and for each wee one. And then oh, wrong way, that red one there, I tried to do like a row of like bows or ribbons, and it didn't work, and I just lost the plot. And so just on a squiggly line, literally just a red squiggly line, and then we're on to the centerpiece. So I have the centerpiece finished apart from like 2 stitches at the top. So let me go all the way back here so you can see. Isn't it pretty? And maybe if I turn it sideways you might be able to get it better. Can you see? It's really nice. And do you see the little bird? Oh well, it's upside down, so maybe you know. See the little bird? It's cute. So I have the centerpiece finished, so now the other from here on is something similar to this end, although I think, oh look at my double chin, lovely Heather. I think there's 1, 2, 3 more like of these sections in the other side, and then there is a bobble section, and the bobble section is slightly different. This is just like a row of bobbles. The other one is 2 really close together, and then a big space, and then 2 really close together. So I'm looking forward to getting this one finished. And the show keeps you motivated. I love working towards a deadline. I hate it and I love it at the same time. It does make me get a push on to do things now. Otherwise this would have just sat. This would have sat in the box and done nothing. So that's that. Let me set that down. I did get the fabric for the back of it. It's not that you have to back your shawl, but I'll tell you why I'm backing mine. Although this bit, like this is pretty actually, the back, but wait do you see when we get up here? Like look at that. Like I'm not going to wear this as a shawl. I'm going to put it as a runner at the end of the bed, or a runner. I actually have a nice chest of drawers here beside me. That's really the. And I need something to brighten it up, so I'll probably throw it over that in my little craft corner. But I still couldn't live with knowing that this was exposed. And I mean, where do you see the middle bit? I cheated. I hate sewing in ends, and I really hate sewing in ends. So some of the ends I sewed in, and some of them I cheated. Now what I done was I have like a craft glue or a fabric glue, and I just tied the ends tight. And I dabbed every night before I went to bed. I dabbed a little bit of glue on each wee section I had finished. And like, you can't feel it from the front, you wouldn't know. And it neatens it up somewhat, but I'm still going to back it. So I was out at my local yarn / fabric store, even though it's about 23 3 miles away from here. It's the one I teach crochet at in the sort of spring winter months, and I went out to Charlene and got some fabric, so I got rainbow. Like, you couldn't have got a better match. Wait to show you. Like, look at that. And it's not that I went out just to get something that matched it, not necessarily the same colours, but come on. Rainbow-tastic. So, set that over there. So that is my Hygge shawl and fabric and all got for. So hopefully next time I podcast, I might just wait till after the show actually and tell you all the crack from it. So maybe the show will be finished by then. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see sneak peeks and other photos before then. So yes. So the other thing that I was working on was my breathing space sweater. And when I was writing my notes, I was trying to think, did I even show it to you last time? Did I even work on it from the last time? And I don't think I did, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because I'm not 100% certain whether or not I think I did. I don't think I've done no work on it. So, but anyway, so this is my breathing space sweater. I do have a little stitch marker in there from wherever I did stop the last time. So that's as much as I've got done. So that is that. And I will get back to that after I get this other shawl finished on my Harmony socks. I have promised myself a new cast on, so I still have this on the go, but I'll have a new cast on as well, and I don't know what, which leads me to dying to cast on. Now I change my mind like the weather. I think I'm set on something and then I change it. So at the minute I wanted to do like 2 or 3 different things. I wanted to do a find your fade jumper, and I'm not going to start another jumper till I have that breathing space sweater done, because there's no call to have 2 jumpers on at one go. So once I have my breathing space sweater finished, I am going to do a find your fade jumper. So that'll be a wee while down the line. But once I get that shawl and them socks done, like I said, I promised myself a new cast on. Now I had I think I'd shown you these 2 the last time for the yeah, I just was looking to make sure that I had for the excuse me shawl, and I want to do the excuse me shawl because it's brioche, and I did start a brioche cowl for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I just didn't finish it, and then I fell out of love with it. So I wanted to do another brioche, and I wanted to use these 2, but in my mind I was thinking 2 skeins isn't really going to make that big of a shawl. I could probably will, but I want it bigger. I always think something's not big enough and then it turns out massive. But anyway, long story short, Suzanne Summer on Instagram and probably everywhere else in the interweb, you'll find Sosu if you type it in, has brought out a shawl called Love You Baby, and it's in collaboration with the yarn shop in somewhere in America, can't remember. I want to say New York somewhere, but I could be totally wrong, so don't take me at my word. But anyway, if you check out Love You Baby, or even Love You Baby, you will find it. So it uses 3 skeins. So I have this one. So I really down to cast this on, and it's a knit along at the minute, so everybody is at it. I just want to do it, but I have to finish some of that stuff first. I can't settle when I have too many things on the go. It annoys me that they're sitting there not being made. So, but at the same time, I'm dying to get something new on the go. But I'm not going to do this until I get a couple of those projects out of the way. I am not going to start nothing else. But what do you think of these? Aren't these like? So, this is Hedgehog Fibres, and it is Boombox. So it's sort of what. I'll say white, but it's got this lovely blue and green and pink and purple and black. Even there's black in there. So I'm thinking, let me show you. So the blue will really tone in with, because there's the blue in it there, and then the green will really tone in with the green in it there. So what do you think? Aren't these three just class together? Yeah, I think so too. And guess what? I'm kind of breaking into, is there any post here? But sure, why not swiftly move from one thing to the other? These three live in my new bag. Look. Isn't it pretty? A teacup on this side. Who doesn't love a good cup of tea? So this is my new bag from Emerald Fibres, and I had been after a wee bag for ages, but she had so many nice ones and so many nice colours that I couldn't decide what I wanted. And like, I mean, in this house we love tea in the brain, so I wanted tea, but then I seen these feathers and I wanted feathers. So Kira, I asked Kira would she print both sides for me, and she said she would, and I thought it was so sweet. So go check out Emerald Fibres on Instagram. She has some amazing bags, but like, look, this pleased me even more. They match. Like, look, they want to live in here. So that's exactly where they're going to stay. They're going to live in my Emerald Fibres bag until I'm ready to cast on Love You Baby. So it's, and look at the strap. So it's, you know, knitting on the go. And it quite easily holds those three skeins. Let me show you. Oh well, try to show you. Like, look, there's still plenty of room in there. Wee packet of bickies down there, a couple of sweets over there. Good stuff. Now, so, oh, oops, just hanging it up there. So, I kind of went from dying to cast on into, was there any post yet? So, there was a wee bit of post. There's always post in this house, and there's always yarn related post. Oh, I don't know how I get away with it. But anyway, so there was my Emerald Fibres bag, and oh, sorry, I'm going to have to stretch again. Yeah, it is this one, I think. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it is. So, another skein of hedgerow yarns. I just can't help it. Just can't help it. This one is Beachcomber. Lovely colours. Like, look, there's a big bit of blue. Oops, sorry. And there's like a rusty colour in there. It's so pretty. And look at the little stitch marker and the wee pig. Isn't it cute? So there was that one. There was, like I said, my Emerald Fibres bag, and oh yes, this one just came today actually. This was just somebody on Instagram that I happen to follow. She happens to be from Belfast. It's amazing how you can follow somebody and not know that they, and I say just down the road, but they are just down the road, but they're not. They're like an hour away. So she had made herself a couple of little like project bags and stuff and put them up, and I seen this one, and the fabric, I just had to have it. Now she had the same fabric in two different colours, and I just could not choose. Never can never decide. But I ended up going for the blue, and she made me this lovely bag. What do you say? It is so cute. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look at those bees. Aren't they lovely? So it's a wee box bottom bag. And it only came today. And I was outside doing bits and pieces, and I only opened it there this evening. But it is Emmy Lou Bakes on Instagram if you want to get her to make you one. She's so good, and it's so quick. Like, I only was chatting to her at the beginning of the week, and it was here. Now, in all fairness, it could have been here from yesterday, because none of us checked the post. So like, yesterday's only Thursday. Couldn't believe how quick it was here. But like, look, she even sent a little stitch marker. I thought it'd be cute on the zip as like a wee zip pull, but isn't it lovely? So this will probably be a sock. I'm gonna probably put socks in this wee bag. I have a few different sock patterns in mind for when I finish those Harmony ones, because it's always good to have socks on the go, just to lift that bag, grab if you're going in the car or whatever. But isn't it lovely? Thank you, Emma. I really love it. Thank you. So let me set that over. So the other post I had was and it's kind of up there and I can't take it down, or can't, won't, don't wanna. I got a yarn swift. I for some reason always thought yarn swifts were really, really expensive, and maybe they are. They could be. Maybe I've got a cheap one. I don't really know. I got one off Wool Warehouse, and it's the Bobbin Birch yarn swift, I think it's called, and it was £25, and it was free delivery then. So I wind all my skeins by hand, and A, you always run into knots, and B, it's boring and it's sore in your arms and your shoulders. So I decided to get one, and I don't know what made me think of it. I just randomly googled and found out that they were like, there was an even cheaper one again, but I thought, no, I'm not going to go for the really cheap one. £25 is sort of what I want to spend. And I have a yarn winder, just like a just an ordinary yarn winder. So I have the whole setup now. I haven't used it. It only came the other day, and I don't want to wind anything, because then that will be easier to cast something on. So I'll probably not wind anything for a little while, and it probably will be the yarn that I just showed you for the Love You Baby shawl. So I'll let you know how I get on with that once I do get a wee go on it, but I'm not going to use it for now. I was dying to use it the other day, but hey ho. So that is all the stuff that came in the post. And I really don't need nothing more, so there probably won't be anything for a little while, but I'll just move straight on to blather. So what have I been up to? Well, I've got all my entries in for Clocker Valley Show. I was telling you the last time that the book came, and I filled my form in and I picked what I wanted to enter. So all the entries have been posted in, and it's just a waiting game now till show day. Can't wait, as usual. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But there's nothing else with it. It is a waiting game now. Wait for the day to come. I have been doing lots of upcycling this week. Like I said, I was off from the beginning of this week till next Friday. Using my annual leave up, and there was a couple of bits and pieces that I wanted to get done around the house, and I needed good weather to do them, and I needed time to do them as well. So I'm gonna try and edit a video tonight. Woo, go me! But I don't know how it's gonna go. If I can edit it, I'm gonna put some photos in for you to see the things I have been doing, and if not, you can just hop on over to Instagram and see what I've been up to. So I started off this week. My uncle is really good with his hands, and he built me like I'd say it's like a plant box, but it's bigger than a plant box. It's like a tree box. So it's just a wooden framed box on four little legs, and it was like a piney oak type thing, and I've had it for about 5 or 6 years, and I never planted nothing in it, because before we built the house I didn't really have room to have such a big box, and I didn't have nothing to put in it. So I painted like the legs of it grey, and I painted sort of the slats in between like a baby blue, and I went and bought a lovely tree and put it in it, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So hopefully when he comes up he'll see it in use, because it wasn't in use. So bad. It was just sitting there gathering cobwebs. So that was that. And I also had like a little, I don't know if summer seat is the right word for them. That's the term I've always called it. It's like just a little seat you sit on outside in the summertime. But it was a child's one. It was one that Amy had from she was about, I think from she was about 4 or 5, so it's at least 10 years old. So I kind of was going to get rid of it, and I thought, no, I'll paint it and see how it comes up. So I let Amy pick the colours. So the cast iron bits at the side, and the little, at the bit you rest your back, and there was like this little rectangle, and it was all like a Noah's Ark scene. It was all the animals going into Noah's Ark. So I painted those grey, the same grey as I painted the legs of the other thing, and I painted the wooden slats that you sit on and rest your back on in like a really bright pink. I think it was called berry purple, but to me it's more like a pink. So she picked the colours for those, and it's bright and funky to say the least, but for something that was going to go to scrap, a lick of paint done the world of good. I got paint from my local building merchants. It was the Ronseal garden furniture paint, or Ronseal outdoor paint, something like that. They were only like 4.50 for, like, you know, the little tins about that size. And like I still have grey left, I still have some blue left, and I still have some of the berry purple left. So I would say it cost me about £6 to upcycle those two things and turn them into something funky and, you know, and bright and usable outside. So I have been doing that. And then I have had this in my mind a long time. I had been collecting sort of little cheap wooden picture frames, or not necessarily wooden ones, but just like little cheap frames. And in my living room, I have a massive bare wall. Like it's a really massive bare wall, and I want to put loads and loads of photos on it. So my idea was to just pick up, like, wherever I go, like Asda, pound shops, even Next had some like little cheap frames, and all different shapes and sizes, and some of them look like little vintage ones and what have you. And I was going to paint them all a colour scheme, just like fill the wall full of the frames and put all like my favourite photos in. So I had a couple of boxes of those, gathered them up, took all the plastic and stuff off them, and laid them all out on the floor. And from there, decided then which ones to paint, what colour. So my sofa in that room is purple, and the carpet is grey. So there's kind of like a purple and grey theme going on. So most of the photo frames were grey, because grey is really in at the minute, and some were cream. So I decided to go with purple, cream, and grey. So there's those three colours in various frames all over the wall. So once I decided which ones I was going to paint the lilac colour, I have been in and out all day to the garage, and it's so hard to decide what colour to do which one. So I just took one frame out at a time, painted it, let it dry, bring it back in, lay it down the ground, and went, that looks right there, I think I'll do this one, that colour. So that's what I've been at all day, and I think I have it correct. The fun part now is transferring from floor to wall. So I don't want to put any nails at all in my new walls. I'm afraid of putting a nail in and just the plaster all falling, and B, I just don't want to do it. I'm just afraid. So I have some of those God, what do you call them? Oh, command hanging strips. So most of the picture frames I think will hang with those, but there's some that are on a chain, so I'm gonna have to get little nails and hammer out. So my dad's really good at all that stuff, and might get him up to do that, and hopefully then that will be that done. That's another wee job ticked off the list. Yeah, so that's what I have been doing, apart from being outside and like cutting the hedge and watering the plants and looking after them and buying more plants and always buying more stuff. That's all I have been at. So that is it in a nutshell. A nice wee short podcast this time. Not blathering on for as long as normal. I had this cup down with me. The last time I had my I told you it's crochet mug with the two little people ready to shoot each other. Well, this is another one I have. My sister got me this for my birthday a couple of years ago. I have OKD, obsessive knitting disorder. So I thought, oh well, sure, why not bring this mug down and show it to you as well. So I have a few other more knitting mugs up there in the cupboards. Maybe I'll bring them down for each podcast and show you all my. I love mugs. I have like, if I have an obsession with mugs. I don't like having two the same in the house. They all have to be different. So every time we go somewhere, like say like TK Maxx or Sainsbury's or any of those places that sell mugs, that's where I'm way to. And then I just get told, Mom, come on, or like, and Simon drinks a fair amount of tea. Even he'll say, we don't need any more mugs. So but I especially love these. You know, like there's not gonna be too many of those in houses around the country. Although I would wet myself if I walked into a house and somebody handed me one of these. I just thought, I think it would be brilliant. So that is all from me. I think I'll probably think of something to tell you as soon as I've switched off. But thanks for watching, and until the next time, enjoy your summer holidays if you're doing anything nice, or if not, enjoy the good weather, and see you later. Bye.